responds with a healthy Jason Tatum when the lights are at their brightest. 2 major games for the Celtics. Maybe a finals preview of one of those teams. Maybe. But what is known right now is that Jason Tatum is acclimating himself with this team. This team looks good, and they're playing together. And that should not be forgotten about. That cannot be overstated. It's been an important development for this team. And I think a lot of it has to do, too, with the bench. We talked about how they outscored the Cavaliers, and that was a great start for the Celtics. But even still, their three-pointing shooting is doing well. It's different from what it was earlier this season. 15 of 38 today. That's almost 40% from behind the arc. 37 of 84 from the field, 44%. It was a good day to be a Green Teamer. Skaz and I will break it all down on the Green Teamers podcast. We'll have extended post-game coverage on 98.5, the Sports Subs YouTube channel. So you can make sure to check that out after we sign off here. And Sam Helzer, should highlight him before we go. Took 10 3-pointers, made 5 of them. 15 points. Another guy in the starting lineup who's contributing for this Celtics team. Celtics win the first of a 3-game road trip with a 109-98 win at Cleveland. They head to San Antonio, Oklahoma City this week. Catch the Celtics back in action Tuesday with pregame coverage starting at 7:30 with Grady MX. For more analysis and reaction, head to 98.5 The Sports Subs YouTube page, where Skaz and I will recap it all on the Green Teamers podcast. I'm Jake Seymour, and in the meantime, here's Ryan Johnson and Bob Beers in Pittsburgh for the Bruins Radio Network.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. WBZ-FM at HD Boston, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Media Group Station.
This is Boston Bruins hockey. Boston Bruins hockey is brought to you by your local New England Honda dealers, Shaw's and Star Market, Safety Insurance, Town Fair Tire, Granite City Electric's GCE Night Train, Ticketmaster, your New England Ford dealers, Blue Sky Restoration Contractors, TD Bank, Service Credit Union, and by Catches Law.
2 seconds, 1 second, it's over. The Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And by Dairy Queen, Peerless Boilers, your New England Chevy dealers, Timber Tech Decking and Railing, Charles D. Sheehy, Mass Mutual, Avidia Bank, Wendy's, Live Nation, The Peterson School, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Big Y, Nicely Done, and by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
After 39 long years, the Cup is back home. The Bruins are 2011 Stanley Cup champions.
Now, here's Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers.
From PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this is Boston Bruins hockey. Today, the Bruins, fresh off a win at home yesterday, will try to snap a 6-game road winless streak as they come to town to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Great to have you with us alongside Bob Beers. I'm Ryan Johnston. Today's storylines brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado, where dependability comes standard. Well, back home yesterday afternoon, the Bruins made it 12 straight wins at TD Garden, beating the Capitals 3-1. That pushed the Bruins' record out of the Olympic break to 3-2. Marco Sturm saying his team is getting back to playing the way they had been prior to those 3 weeks off.
I think one of the biggest issues was, when you go away from the game and you got to remind players, so that's what we were trying to do over the break. The problem was we only had half the guys here. Not half the guys, but, just 3/4 of the guys. So that was a little bit of a problem, having so many guys, and I'm glad they had that experience. But having so many guys not around during the break, I think that's why it took a little bit longer after the break. Guys forget. I forget. Things we touched on it, 2 weeks doesn't seem like long, but it is. And, again, I think we're still in the process going, but I would say, even Philly, but then the game here, the next home game was getting better. Nashville, today was a lot better, so there's still a little bit left, I think, the way we played before the break. But we definitely seemed like we're back on track here, and we want to keep it that way.
Now they're going to get back on track on the road.
Right.
So, it's you just said how many in a row is it on the road?
6 in a row on the road
that they've lost. 12 in a row at home that they've won. All right, so there's, there's something that needs to be changed here in between those two. I think, we talked about it a lot, or, at least I did. I focused on it. I didn't know what it was going to look like coming back from the Olympics. And not just team-wise, individual-wise. guys are on their own for 2 weeks before they came back and started practicing. What do you do during those 2 weeks? You know, are you committed and making sure you're staying in shape and doing the right things? You might not be on the ice the whole time, but, you know, doing the right things. And you know, it's easy to kind of let it slip away from you. And then you come back and you try to play catch up while you're, you know, while you're on the ice and guys are ahead of you. And I think that, I don't know, from what I've seen from, you know, individual players, that there are a few that are still trying to play catch up a little bit, right? And yesterday was a step in the right direction, no question about it. As a team, it was definitely a step in the right direction. The compete level was there. The 5-on-5 play was there. Just compete-wise, you know, it's not always going to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you got to compete. And the Bruins have to be respectful of the team that they're playing against. Not too much respect, but respectful. You can't look at the other team and say, well, you know, this guy's not in the lineup, that guy's not in the lineup. And, you know, I thought they did that against Nashville. At least on the surface, that's what it looked like. They did a much better job of cleaning that up yesterday against the Washington Capitals. They've got a similar challenge here today. I know that Boston played yesterday, but Pittsburgh played last night. I mean,
Right.
we got here into the hotel and watched the second half of the game last night. They were still going. They went into overtime. They went into a shootout against the Flyers. No Malkin, no Crosby. Easy to look across and say, okay, we're in for an easy night. It's not the case. I mean, Pittsburgh, the way you watched them play yesterday and them play last night, you've got to have a mindset. It doesn't matter who's in the lineup. You have to play a certain way if you're going to be successful. So that's up to the Bruins to be able to bring that here today.
Just to the point about the Olympic break and how it affected players and teams. I mean, the Bruins had, 7 guys who end up going overseas. Zaka wasn't able to take part, but we had a
But he
team
was hurt.
Right. But look at a team like Tampa Bay, who they lost 4 out of 5 out of the break. They had about half of their roster.
Well, they lost
playing
4 in
over
a
there.
row until they won last night against Toronto.
Right.
Who's lost 7 in a row now. So we don't know what's going on with them.
I don't think the Olympic break is Toronto's problem. Let's put it that way. But yesterday, Victor Arvidsson's breakaway goal early in the third period turned out to be the game winner. Arvidsson, of course, set to become an unrestricted free agent at year's end, which could have meant him being traded at this week's trade deadline, but he wasn't. And Marco Sturm is happy the winger is here for the rest of the season.
I knew already he's not going anywhere, but I'm just happy because I've just, he plays the right way and he cares. He's one of those guys who gets really mad when things are not going his way, but shows me that he cares a lot. And he cares about winning, he cares about this team, and he's caring about doing everything he can to help this team. And he done it at the end of the day. So I'm just happy he's still here, and I'm happy he's going to be a big part of our big stretch coming up.
He's your third leading goal scorer. I hope people hear that they wanted him traded at the deadline. He's your third leading goal scorer. I realize he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. I get that. I understand that. So decisions have to be made. Sure. I realize that, and I realize why his name was out there. 32-year-old guy that can bring you something if you traded him right now. I think he's engulfed himself in this culture here, and he's helped it. And I think he's well liked and well respected in the locker room. I think the way that he works, his work ethic, and the way that he digs. I mean, it's good to see him have a resurgence because it wasn't working for him. It didn't work for him in Edmonton. He's a guy that can score because he works extremely hard. And for whatever reason, it did not work out in Edmonton. It's working out here in Boston. And I think that line has been just one of the constants for the Bruins all year long, along with Zaka and along with Mittelstadt. Once Mittelstadt moved to the wing and they moved Zaka in the middle, Arvidsson's been a fixture on that right wing when they're all healthy. And that's a go-to line for Marco Sturm, and it has been since they've been together.
Coming out of the break, some of the other lines have not been producing as much. 13 total goals the Bruins have scored in 5 games. 7 of them have come from that line of Mittelstadt, Arvidsson, and Zaka when they've been playing together here over the last 5. And Arvidsson says he is happy to see their success of late.
Our line is playing well, and we're sticking together and playing a good brand of hockey. And it's competitive this time of year, and that's what I like.
They're good at both ends of the ice. They're good in all 3 zones. So, especially, the work ethic in the offensive end, they're reliable defensively. Zaka's an underrated player, I think, around the league. And I don't think he is in that locker room, but I think that, people realize how consistent and how steady he is, and he brings it every night. There's going to be nights where he misses the net a few times or, it doesn't quite go right for him. But, he's low maintenance. Zacha is. I'm talking about just really low maintenance. That shows up and does his job every day. And you know, you're not going to see him in the training room too often. You know, he goes through a few injuries here and there, but he's quiet. He's a quiet leader, but he's a really strong kind of fixture on that. We'll call it a second line for the Bruins, and it's been a productive and a reliable line for them.
Well, speaking of Zacha, he had a power play goal yesterday. He and the Bruins, as we talked about, now won 12 straight at home, but they're looking to snap a 6-game winless streak here on the road today.
You know, on the road, it's something that, you know, we don't really have good starts. It's something, you know, you're trying to figure out to get good starts like we do at home. So that's something that we've been working on, and we have to, you know, win tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it, I think, but that's a good way to approach this first period here with the drop of the puck. You know, you're playing against a team. I know that both teams played last night, but you're playing against a team that played later last night than you did. Went into overtime, went into a shootout. They can't win in shootouts, by the way. They're
we'll talk about that.
We're going to talk about it in a minute. 1-9 in shootouts this year for the Penguins. But and a team without Crosby and Malkin. So do you look at it and say it's going to be easy, or do you look at it and say, you know, we're ready to put in the work and, you know, to play this game the right way and get out of this losing streak on the road?
We will find out. Jonas Korpisalo will get the start in goal today for Marco Sturm. One change up front. Mikey Eyssimont draws back into the lineup in place of Alex Steeves. No changes in the deep pairings from yesterday. Here's what's on deck, brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at timbertech.com. We'll go around the NHL, including the Sabres and Lightning squaring off.
Two teams get to play that are right next to each other in the standings, and we had a heck of a game down there. And this is really what you would ask for. You want a team like that. You want to be able to play them.
Bob will chat with Bruins head coach Marco Sturm.
Lots of speed they have, but they worked a very good structure, and they're going to come at you.
And up next, we'll talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
Now at Wendy's, you can go big, biggie, or biggier. With our new $4, $6, or $8 meal, you choose your deal, as you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More biggie options, more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Poor Diana in accounting. She fell for an email phishing scam. Computers shut down. And people freaked out, especially about getting paid.
Hey!
Fortunately, the company had cyber risk coverage from Safety Insurance. Safety covered the cost of systems and data restoration, business income-related losses, and more. Don't let one human error shut down your business. Ask an independent agent about Safety Insurance. We'll help you manage life storms, even the cyber kind.
Hi, this is Andrew Peak. I'm excited to be teaming up with the Shaws and Star Market Foundation and 98.5 The Sports Hub for Feeding the Puck for Families. Every time me or one of my teammates feeds the puck this season to help score a goal, the Shaws and Star Market Foundation Nourishing Neighbors Initiative will donate $100 to help end hunger here in our local communities. Since its inception, Nourishing Neighbors has raised more than $250 million across the country to ensure our neighbors have the nutrition needed to thrive locally. Every time we feed the puck for a goal, the Shaws and Star Market Foundation will make a donation of $100 to the Greater Boston Food Bank to help end hunger up to $50,000. To learn more about feeding the puck for families, visit 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
The Celtics play on the Sports Hub.
Well, it's up to Chinakhov now to keep this game going. Igor Chinakhov. Saved by Bedard. Flyers win.
Back here in Pittsburgh as the Bruins get ready to take on the Penguins for the second time this week. Boston got a 2-1 victory back at home on Tuesday night. Penguins went on to lose 5-1 on Thursday against Buffalo, and then a 4-3 shootout loss to Philly here at home last night. Penguins still without Sidney Crosby, who was hurt during the Olympics, and now without Evgeny Malkin, who had a 5-game suspension for a slashing incident during that Buffalo game. Erik Karlsson and company have now dropped into third place in the Metro Division points race.
Again, I don't really think that we've played up to the level that we had coming off the break. We had a couple of down games here in a row now, and it's unfortunate timing. But again, I think we know what we are in here. We're a good team, and we're in the position we are for a reason. And hopefully we can dig ourselves out of it and get on a roll here again.
Yeah, Erik Karlsson, I think, is playing some pretty good hockey. He was really good against the Bruins in that game at TD Garden the other day. And he has to be right now for them because, without Malkin, without Crosby, to a little lesser degree, no disrespect, but Justin Brazeau out of the lineup here today for them. They're relying on some younger players to get the job done. And I don't know if he's a calming influence on the back end or not, but he's an influence on the back end. He can influence a game. He can get a little light and loose defensively, as can Chris Letang. Letang competes a little differently than Karlsson does, but Karlsson's going to be counted on a lot in the offensive categories. Look, they're a pretty deep team. Pittsburgh is. In the highlight just before Karlsson's soundbite, you heard the name Chinakhov. That kid's good.
He's been a great pickup for them.
He's good.
Coming over from Columbus.
He is talented. Columbus is kicking themselves right now. I mean, he did not get along with the head coach at the time. It was Dean Evison. They ended up making the trade to Pittsburgh. And then a couple weeks later, they made a coaching change in Columbus. So, I mean, Chinakhov is a good player for them. He can shoot the puck. Just watching him last night, he missed the net a couple times, but he's playing with Raquel on a line, basically their top line. And he's a good player, and he had a couple good chances against the Bruins as well.
Well, last night in that loss to the Flyers, Penguins head coach Dan Muse said he was not happy with his team's intensity level.
Too much of the second period especially. It was just, I thought it was casual. Like, I didn't think we had opportunities to, rather than being in good positions to support pucks, we were kind of like, we were drifting, we were getting away from it. I thought overall defensively, like, we can be, not just in the second, even going back into the first, I thought it was just the detail behind it wasn't good enough. We might be in areas, but we weren't, like, really there. We weren't covering. We weren't taking a look. I thought some of their opportunities, and especially some of the shifts where they generated momentum, I just thought that, the urgency wasn't there from some.
Yeah, interesting, because I only caught the last couple minutes of the second period. I caught the whole third period, and they were the better team in the third period.
It picked up in the third period, yeah.
So, they got the message, apparently, in between the second and third period, because they played well, especially the first half of the third period. They didn't give Philadelphia much at all in that portion of the game. And then it came down to overtime. Philly had a couple chances. Pittsburgh had a power play late in overtime. So they had a 4-on-3 and a chance to win it. Vladar made a couple of huge saves during that sequence. And it ends up being a loss and a shootout there for the Penguins.
They've been to overtime 18 times in 62 games this year. They've only got 4 wins to show for it, including, as you mentioned earlier, 1-9 record in shootouts so far this season. Dan Muse says that's gotten into their heads a bit.
It's a factor. I'm not going to say it's like the only one. I think anytime something's a part of your game's not going well and consistently, and then there's conversations about it, and then there's buzz about it, and then it wears on you, and then you get into these situations too, and rather than attacking them, rather than being excited for them, there's some of that. So some of that falls on me.
I laugh because Stuart Skinner hasn't been involved in very many shootouts for the Penguins, but he was last night. And he was asked after the game, what was it like on the bench before the shootout, because you guys haven't won very many. And he was very respectful. He gave a great answer. He's like, he goes, to be honest with you, he goes, I haven't been here for many, and I wasn't on the bench. I was kind of in my own zone, like trying to make sure that I did it right. He said, I wish I could give you a better answer, so I'm not sure. But, if I was the backup, I could have given you a better answer, So he gave a great answer, and he was good in the shootout. The only guy that beat him was Zegras, and Zegras is unbelievable in shootouts.
Yeah.
His statistically in the shootout, he's outstanding. And at the other end, Vladar stopped all the Penguin shooters.
So, Bruins and Penguins coming up here from Pittsburgh. Let's give you our Catches Law injury report. Very short. No significant injuries for this Bruins roster. Injury report brought to you by Catches Law, the official law firm of the Boston Bruins. They've won over $3 billion for their clients. When you're injured and can't work, turn to Catches Law. There's no fee unless you win. Go to catcheslaw.com and schedule your free consultation today. Up next, we're going to bring you our exclusive sit-down interview with Bruins General Manager Don Sweeney here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealers.
The game is on, and the snacks from Big Y? Oh, yeah. Freshly made wings, platters, pizzas, and 30-inch super subs. Big Y makes the crowd go wild. Big Y, nicely done.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability, making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Visit your New England Chevy dealers. High five!
Only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
At Planet Fitness, we're getting strong for the season's biggest games. With the PF Black Card, you can rebound and recover with next-level recovery amenities at 2,800-plus locations. Join now and get your first month free. $1 down, $24.99 a month, no commitment. Deal ends Friday, March 13th.
This is Boston's home for sports.
Joined by Bruins General Manager Don Sweeney, coming off of yesterday's NHL trade deadline. You made a couple of moves, but nothing that directly impacts the NHL roster. You had said earlier in the week that you were, looking to maybe give these guys a bump. Why did that not materialize?
Well, not for lack of effort on our, our staff. The scouts obviously do a lot of work throughout the year and put us in a position that we can explore a lot of different things, and we did. Trying with always an eye towards helping this team and moving forward. There was no real definitive path to say we were going to be in a rental mindset, and some of the ones just didn't line up for where rightfully so what the seller was asking, because it was it was high, but I understood. I went through last year and I took no umbrage in the fact that guys had set their value of their players, and but we just couldn't get there this time around.
When you were tied to Rasmus Anderson a while ago, true or not, there were a lot of right defensemen that moved. Just wondering how interested that part of the market was, or if you had identified maybe that was an area you wanted to try to upgrade a little bit. What were there, 9 or 10 right shot defensemen? Now, not all of them are top tier, but a number of them moved, and like you said, the prices were high. We were exploring, a bunch of different positional needs organizationally as to where we are today, and certainly with the mindset of heading forward. A lateral play wasn't really where our head was at from the standpoint of believing in the 8 guys we currently have on the roster. So we didn't have a lack of trust in the group as it is. We're just, really being mindful of what might present, what would have presented, and the players that did move at a higher profile, I do believe we were interested in potentially adding 1 or 2 in not just that singular position, but a couple other areas that would address needs as we see where our team is at, but most importantly, they fit in moving forward.
You were asked, I wanted to talk about a little bit about where the organization is right now. As you went through this process this week and talking with other GMs, how do you feel about the picks, the prospects, the players on your roster that you have right now, and the value that some of them might have here down the road going forward?
Well, I'll start by saying we believe this club has earned the right to be where they are and to try and finish and get into the playoffs. They honestly, I used the line this morning that the deadline is an opportunity to add, but it's also an opportunity to subtract. And I wanted our guys to know that we started this year blocking out outside noise, that we weren't going to be as competitive as what we had intended to be, and I think they've stared that down. Now they, obviously we're giving them a chance to complete that and get into the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. It's a great opportunity to exchange information. Doug might say that some of that information gets a little public before he would like it to, and I think we all feel that way. I will take one aside before I answer the question completely, Ryan. Like, I had somebody pass along a comment about one of our players from a head of amateur scouting, and his description of that player was right there, quoted I wouldn't do that. If they could do this, I can't stand that. I think that's a bad look for the league, is to people that won't put their name to something that does that. But where I'm going with that is the exchange of information, have an understanding of where other teams might see your players. We constantly evaluate. Our development staff's doing a great job communicating with our guys. You always want to know your players in terms of whether they're NHL guys or whether or not there's opportunities to do lateral things that might help your club and somebody else might identify that helps their club. So I think that's a really important part of the exercise. And the exchange of information with other general managers as to what they're asking for is always important. And we do the same thing, asking last year for, Fraser Minton is a great example of our guys doing their work and saying he's the guy for us if we're exploring that type of trade, and a very difficult move, in that sense. And we would view it the same way as some of our players to say, hey, that's too difficult for us to give up at this point in time, because we're building where we need to. The organizational base needed to get better and deeper. 10 years running of hitting the accelerator and trying to be, that ultra competitive team doesn't mean we don't want to win. Doesn't mean we don't think we can right now, because we put ourselves in a position to do that.
A little bit of State of the Union. I know that coming out of the Olympics was going to be a little bit of an unknown, right? You don't know individual players, how they're going to react coming out of the Olympics and the 3-week break. You don't know how teams are going to react coming out. Wanted to follow up on something that you had said the other day, paraphrasing, but you weren't too crazy about the way that they played the first 4 games coming out of the break. Can you put a finger on what areas have kind of slipped a little bit for you?
Well, in the 2 wins, our goalies were our best player that night. I don't think we've played with quite the same energy and execution that we were playing prior to. We lost a little momentum. So, that's incumbent upon us as a group to get it back. Our road record, as I referenced, is another area where we have to recognize. We've got more road games than home games coming up, and down the stretch, you've got to flip that around if you plan to get in and have success in the playoffs. So it's a couple areas that I publicly acknowledge that, Marco and the group knows that already in terms of where they're at. They're pushing the buttons that hopefully will move it in the direction, starting with today, that we play better and play with a little more structure. The other night, second period wasn't very good, in terms of how we expect our group to play. And they have played that way. They've responded to our coaches and to Marco and holding themselves accountable. So I do expect that to get back on track. Whether or not the deadline, whether or not all teams were sort of in a little bit of a fog coming out, you just can't afford to start playing uphill and into the wind, right away.
You mentioned the road record in there. That's been something that we've been kind of tracking throughout the course of the season. It's even with the long break, team hasn't won a road game, I think, since mid-January now. So how does that get fixed? Can it get fixed down the stretch here?
It absolutely can get fixed. The same team, same 20 guys or 22 guys are going to go out the road that play, here today, knock on wood and injuries wise. We played well enough to win prior to going to Nashville. We just didn't execute. We actually started the game fine. We, Elias missed a really, really good chance at the end of the period, 1-1. Then we give up a shorty, which really takes momentum away. And then we got sloppy from there, and you're playing from behind. Attention to detail is an area that, needs to be better. Their starts need to be, really, really detailed. The effort, the energy-wise, our club works hard, so I'm not worried about that. However, the energy level seems to have been a little bit, work in progress to get into the game, as opposed to let's initiate the game. And we have players that should be able to help us do that. And we're not an easy team to play against. At home, we sure as hell should be an easy team to play against on the road as well. And that's an area that I think our guys will take to heart and hopefully do a better job of.
There's been some good positives about this team, and you just alluded to a couple of them. Power play has generally been good, maybe struggled a bit here lately, but they've been good and a good weapon for you. Penalty killing's been a struggle here. Penalties, the amount of penalties taken has been something that's talked about this season. How do you address it? How do you look at that, and can you put a finger on why that has been the case this season?
Power play has been good. Hasn't been quite as good coming out of the break as well. The execution, as I referenced. Penalty killing has been much better. A little less in taking penalties probably is the best place to start in that regard. We've talked about it internally. We understand it. We have to own it. We've actually looked at some situations that say, okay, guys, why are we ahead on tripping? Why are we ahead on high stick? Because those are stick fouls. You have to understand the league is automatically going to call those. Interference, sometimes discretionary decisions. You can bark back at the officials to say, well, that one's interference, that one's not. Okay, but we have to own the ones we deserve. The roughing side of things, the scrum side of things, there's a heightened awareness as it gets along. Who's the first guy? Who initiates it? Some of those things. We disagreed with some of the things that happened in the Tampa game. We owned McAvoy. We owned, Kostelik's first penalty, but they don't get one. So those are the things that we look at as a team, and you have to accept these are our faults, and then you realize like, okay, what's the perception? What's the perception around the league as to why some of those things don't tilt back? And we have to make sure that we're correcting that. We're disciplined. For the most part, we have to be disciplined in all those things. The linesman says, hey, these guys are playing hard, but they're not taking advantage of not crossing the line, that we're going to, give the momentum back and say, well, they can't control themselves. And some of those situations we've addressed internally and we'll do a better job. The stick fouls, you can't argue. Tripping is tripping. We have more of those than the other team, so we have to do a better job with our sticks.
Your overall thoughts on Marco Sturm's first year as head coach? Has he lived up to your expectations?
I have high expectations for the coaching standpoint. What he has done is exhibited the passion that he has, the teaching aspect, and wanting to work with players, wanting to communicate with players, how he wants them to play. The system side of things, he's not been so fixated on this is the only way. It's there's an evolving part of understanding where your players, what they're capable of doing, and how you tweak things as a result of that. He's shown growth in those areas, leaned on his assistants. Spotter's done a good job with the power play. They've tug of war a little bit with Leachy and Kells in terms of helping each other on the penalty kill, knowing that we have to improve in that area. But Marco's been in command of all those things. I will tell you, it is a steep learning curve in terms of going from the American Hockey League to the National Hockey League and what's on the plate of the head coach at this level. I think he has a better understanding of being ready for it, but not quite understanding, when you're in the chair, how hot it is and all the moving parts associated with it. I think he's developed a better appreciation for that. I hope I'm helping him through some of those things where, he can lean on me, because I've enjoyed working with him, trying to give him rope, but also trying to give him some of the experiences I've gone through, and we continue to move forward.
We appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping
appreciate
by.
Everything.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
Bruins General Manager Don Sweeney joining us in the booth prior to yesterday's game, talking about the trade deadline and the state of his team as they head into the final quarter. Bruins and Penguins coming up from Pittsburgh. We'll take you around the NHL when we return on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Hockey season is the perfect time to get a high-efficiency Peerless boiler. Be ready and start saving now. Find the Peerless boiler that's right for your home or business and a list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
The sun is out, the birds are chirping, and the open road is calling. Bring on the spring at the Honda Spring Event and take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2025 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value Brand.
Based on 2025 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
Hey, it's Charlie McAvoy. I love working with Service Credit Union because I believe in their mission to support the health, safety, and financial well-being of first responders. They put people before profits, and this season, Service Credit Union is giving back in a big way through our 73 Reasons campaign, donating $200 for every block shot and $1,000 for every shutout, up to $250,000. Service Credit Union, success built on trust, banking built on service. Join the team and learn more at servicecu.org.
Hey, it's Sean Flaherty, managing partner at Catches Law Group. There's something about Bruins hockey, toughness, tradition, and pride that runs deep in New England. That same mindset is how Catches Law Group was built for over 40 years. We've been this region's hometown law firm, fighting for our neighbors and recovering over $3 billion for the people who count on us. We are real trial lawyers who deliver real results. Because when the pressure's on, you need a team built to battle. Visit catcheslaw.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Hi, I'm David Morales, General Manager of WellPoint in Massachusetts. We're proud to continue our partnership with 98.5 The Sports Hub and the Hometown Heroes program, honoring the everyday heroes who work tirelessly to make our community stronger and healthier. From first responders to community leaders, these individuals deserve our recognition and gratitude. Now we want to hear from you. Head to 98.5thesportshub.com/heroes and nominate a hometown hero today.
Boston Sports Talk, the Sports Hub.
Bruins and Penguins coming up from Pittsburgh. Let's take a look around the NHL. One game in progress. They're going down to the wire in Colorado with the Avalanche hosting the Wild.
Waugh in for the Avs. Pass across, blocked off in the slot by Hughes.
Yeah, heavyweights, right? Minnesota taking on the Colorado Avalanche. We're watching it right now here in our booth. It's got about a minute and 45 seconds to go, and it's tied up at 2, Minnesota and Colorado. Minnesota scored a shorthanded goal to take the lead, and that goal there you just heard right there by Nicholas Roy, picked up from the Toronto Maple Leafs, ties it up at 2. So you got a good one going on. Avalanche just beat the Dallas Stars. Was it overtime or a shootout the other day? But they stopped Dallas's long win streak. So this is the Central Division, and they all stocked up here for the playoff run.
6 o'clock face-off tonight in Buffalo. Lindy Ruff and the Sabres a chance to take over first place in the Atlantic Division as they host the Lightning.
I think we're gonna have incredible energy tomorrow. I mean, you get to play, two teams get to play that are right next to each other in the standings, and we had a heck of a game down there, and they're gonna want to come back at us for the way that game ended up. This is really what you would ask for. You want a team like that. You want to be able to play them.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo comes in. I mean, Tampa finally won yesterday, and that was against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they kind of stumbled a little bit here coming out of the break. Corey Perry scored last night, by the way, for them. Newly reacquired
back in
for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And for the Buffalo Sabres, now winners of 6 in a row coming into this game. They picked up right where they left off pretty much, just prior to the Olympic break. They lost a couple just prior to the break, but their record is unbelievable since making the general manager change.
Among the other games later tonight, the Red Wings going to visit the Devils. Detroit's fallen into the first wild card spot. They're just 2 points ahead of the Bruins. Boston does have a game in hand in the standings. We'll hear from Bruins head coach Marco Sturm when we return on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
That same Louisiana flavor y'all love about our chicken?
Flawless.
Yeah, we did that to crispy Alaskan flounder and butterfly shrimp too, both for $5.99. And we didn't stop there. You can add lemon pepper or garlic Parmesan rub to that shrimp. Now we only do seafood every so often, so you know what to expect.
Popeyes can't miss.
That's right. The seafood menu is back. At participating restaurants, prices may vary.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
On Gig Bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees.
All right, folks, guess what? I know you're looking outside to see all that snow that's there. Well, that snow's going to melt. You're going to look at your house in the spring and say, boy, I wish I scheduled my appointment with Certa Pro Painters. Now's the time to complete that painting project, people. Trust me. Certa Pro Painters knows how important your home is to you. You live in your home. You want it to look beautiful. Free estimates. You never have to wonder about what is next on the list. They show up when they're supposed to. Each Certa Pro Painters is locally owned. They're members of your community. Live right there next to you. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. And don't forget, ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th.
Champions play here. The Sports Hub.
Our pregame interview with Marco Sturm is brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety.
Marco, you set to take on the Penguins here today. Quick turnaround. Tell me about yesterday's game. I know that there were some special teams, but in 5-on-5 situations, how much did you like the way that your team competed in that game?
Yeah, no. Overall, it was really good. We just looked at it today and yesterday too. It was not much we gave up, so that was really good. We wanted to get better every day. I think hopefully we're heading in the right direction too. Another game, for a big month, so another big game today. But what I saw yesterday, it was overall pretty good.
You were asked about Pasta a little while ago in the scrum. it seemed like he was more involved yesterday. Is that a good way to put it? Was that an accurate statement for you?
He's trying. Yeah. It's not like he's not trying. He wants to be the difference, and that's what superstars do. And he tried really hard. Unfortunately, he didn't get rewarded.
Yep.
Right, and when you don't get rewarded, then you get a little frustrated. And I think that's what happened yesterday, and everyone could see it a little bit. And again, he just needs a happy game, I would say, with things going his way. And in those kind of players, I've seen it before. He goes very, very quick. So hopefully, it's going to be today. If not, it's going to be the next day. And but I'm not too worried. As long as he's going to do whatever it takes for our team, I'm okay with it.
On the power play, a little adjustment, or I don't know if it was by chance or by design. You got Pasta and Geeky over on that left side. Geeky a little lower, Pasta a little higher. Is that by design, or what are you trying to
No,
create
they
there?
just they played. We don't want to when teams do pre-scouts. We don't want to just originally. In the old days, everyone had their spots. You see it. We want to exchange. We want to be a moving power play, so that's going to happen. And I think it's a good thing because, as an opponent, you just never know who's going to be on this side and that side, who's going to be low. So, again, we just got to be a little bit more direct. I like the puck speed was better, just didn't execute, but we have a better mentality and better drive to the net, I think, like we had in the past.
I know you've got a history with Victor, and you've talked very glowingly about him. He scores yesterday, but when he's not scoring, what do you like about his game?
He still works, and you gotta love him for that because he drags other guys in, and so you can't expect that he leads every night because he's just a human being too, and that's why I think those three guys been really good. They drag each other into a fight, but he's just a guy. If he doesn't score, he loves to score, but people don't know he's probably the most competitive guy in this room. And there was a game I think we won 10-2, or the New York game, for example. He still wants to be on the ice. 30 seconds left in the game and wants to score, and he was still mad. But that just shows you how he is, and he cares so much, and he loves to win.
Mason's been playing the right side for the last handful of games. Mason Lohrei on the right side there. I mean, what have you seen from him on that right side? Have you been happy there, or?
Yeah, no. He came a long way, I would say. If you look at him last year, if you look at him start of the season, he was a healthy scratch, and now nobody talks about it because he's done a good job, and either left or right. I think it doesn't matter for him anymore, so good for him. We do like him on the right. I think, overall he's heading to the right direction.
Last one for you on Pittsburgh. Got here in time to watch the end of their game yesterday. Even without Malkin and Crosby, how do you make sure your team's ready to go, and what do you see from them?
Yeah, no, that's just a very hard-working team. Reminds me of our team a little bit. Built different. Lots of speed they have, but they work. They're very good structured, and they're going to come at you. Special teams are good. So, again, it doesn't matter who's in the lineup or not. They play the same way. So we just got to make sure we stick to our plan, and we use that little advantage we have them playing last night to our advantage, and hopefully for 2 big points.
Appreciate it, Marco. Good luck here today. That's head coach Marco Sturm. Bruins Penguins are next.
One thing we learned about the Bruins this season, they refuse to lose at home. Wilson to Protas. Hampus Lindholm denies a centering pass. Middlestat gets it ahead. Arvidsson's on a break. Arvidsson shoots, scores! Victor Arvidsson gets the Bruins back into the lead. Now they come to Pittsburgh to try to secure a road victory against a team without both Crosby and Malkin. It's the Bruins and Penguins coming up next.
This is Boston Bruins hockey.
Across to Esposito. Shot. Bang! Cam Neely. Wow. Nathan Horton
Flames gain 7 in overtime. Geeky scores. And there is point number 100 for Pasta and goal number 30 for Morgan Geeky.
Boston Bruins hockey is brought to you by your local New England Honda dealers, Shaw's and Star Market, Safety Insurance, Town Fair Tire, Granite City Electric's GCE Night Train, Ticketmaster, your New England Ford dealers, Blue Sky Restoration Contractors, Service Credit Union, TD Bank, and by Catches Law.
Backhand, it'll save Thomas. Swayman made a great stop of the far post.
And by Dairy Queen, Peerless Boilers, your New England Chevy dealers, Timber Tech Decking and Railing, Charles D. Sheehy, Mass Mutual, Avidia Bank, Wendy's, Live Nation, The Peterson School, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Big Y, Nicely Done, and by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Back to Orr. Put in. His 100th point. Backhand score on a penalty shot for Raymond Gort.
David Pasternak calls game, and the Bruins win it 2-1. Bergeron! Bergeron! And the Bruins win the series!
Now, here's Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers.
And we're here in Pittsburgh as the Bruins make their only visit to the Steel City this year to take on the Penguins this afternoon. Third and final meeting of the regular season between these two teams. Both of the other ones have been one-goal games, tight games. A 1-0 win on home ice back in January, a 2-1 win just 5 days ago. So these teams have gotten to know each other, but we expect another tight one here today.
I certainly would expect one, but the other layer to that right now is you have an opportunity to leapfrog the Penguins with a regulation win here today. Even with you got an opportunity with 2 points. You go past them in the standings, regulation win, I should say. And, look, you got to continue to climb the standings. When you look at the standings, it's not just about Columbus who's chasing you. We talked about this yesterday. You can catch some of the teams in front of you. Montreal's right there.
Detroit's right there now.
Detroit is right there now.
Yeah.
Detroit has fallen. You've been able to get close to Detroit. Pittsburgh is there. The Islanders are there. Columbus is behind you, but you can pass some of those Metro teams. Now it's not about the second wild card. You put yourself in a much different position, a much better position. So right now for the Bruins, it's a mindset on the road. They got to get over they play with so much confidence at home. Even in tight games, they're confident at home. Even when they don't have their best, they find a way to win. And if it's goaltending one night, or if it's the power play one night, or if it's even the penalty killing one night, or whatever you have to do, they find ways to win, even when they're not at their best. They've got to find ways to win now on the road. And, it's a bit of a mindset. It starts to snowball a little bit when you lose that many in a row on the road. But playing with some confidence, playing with a little bit of swagger, and not overlooking your opponent, who are missing some pretty key players in their lineup today.
Yeah, you have an opportunity here today, right? No Sidney Crosby, still out injured. No Evgeny Malkin, who's got a 5-game suspension. This is game 2 of that suspension. So an opportunity here to try and grab 2 points and get this road record thing out of your head.
Yeah, just an opportunity to get the road record out of your head. You can't look at who's not playing. If you do, I think they did it the other day against Nashville. I know on paper we can look at it and say those two guys aren't playing, but it doesn't make it any easier. It just makes it different. And you're going to have guys that are hungry on the other side of the ice, just like they were yesterday, knowing that every point means something.
Keys to the game brought to you by Town Fair Tire. For the guaranteed lowest prices on tires, go to Town Fair Tire, because nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Face Off coming up next on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
The Peterson School is now hiring for new instructors at all locations.
Hi, I'm Adam Norcott, an electrical instructor at the Peterson School. I've learned so much from my students and their experiences, and it's made me a better teacher, foreman, and electrician.
Visit petersonschool.com. Electrical contractors, your crews have better things to do than sit in their trucks and name cloud formations. Let Granite City Electric Supply get your crews working first thing every morning. Use the GCE Night Train. Overnight delivery to your job site by 6 a.m. Or pick up your materials with 24/7 access at one of 27 GCE Night Train depot locations. Let's face it, knowing your supplies will arrive at 2 p.m. doesn't help you in the morning. Experience the GCE Night Train difference from Granite City Electric, proud partner of the Boston Bruins Radio Network.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen. Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
Here's another key to why nobody does it like Town Fair Tire. Lifetime winter changeover on any car you own. Another free service that Town Fair Tire offers. Go to townfairtire.com to see more key reasons why nobody does it like Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
It's Truck Month with the Ford crew.
Care for a Truck Month trivia contest, Sam?
Oh, you know I can't resist, Hank.
Okay, fact. Truck Month happens only once a year.
Fact. It's the best time to buy a new Ford truck.
Fact. Ford F-Series is the best-selling lineup of trucks in America for 49 years.
Fact. America loves Ford Truck Month.
Fact. I agree with that fact.
Based on 1977 to 2025 CY industry reported total sales.
The game is on the Sports Hub.
Getting ready for the Bruins and Penguins. Here's today's national anthem presented by Mass Mutual Planning and Protection on and off the ice.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Getting set for puck drop here in Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at our starting lineups here this afternoon. In goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Artur Silovs. On defense, a pairing of Erik Karlsson and Parker Wotherspoon. And up front, Brian Rust, Igor Chinakhov, and Ricard Raquel. For the Bruins, it's Jonas Korpisalo going in net. Hampus Lindholm and Mason Lohrei, your defensemen. And up front, the line of Casey Mittelstadt, Pavel Zacha, and Victor Arvidsson.
First 5 minutes of today's game presented by your New England Ford dealers. Today's New England Ford dealers' first 5 contestant of the game is Jeff Peony of Acton, Massachusetts. If the Bruins score in the first 5 minutes, Jeff will win a pair of tickets to a future Bruins game, courtesy of the New England Ford dealers. Enter the contest at 985thesportshub.com. Well, out in Denver, Colorado Avalanche just won in a shootout over the Minnesota Wild.
Interesting on that shootout. McKinnon gets the game-deciding goal. He was Colorado's 4th shooter.
They inserted
he didn't go in the top 3.
Nazem Kadri, who in his Avs re-debut was the 3rd shooter in that one.
He's the leading scorer in the league. He did not go in the top 3. It's just interesting that they do that. You know, like, some guys aren't good in those situations.
So we get this one underway. Bruins going from right to left on offense, wearing the road white sweaters. As Hampus Lindholm redirects a puck at the red line. The Penguins will control it from there. Lohrei holds up at the Boston blue. Here's Mittelstadt coming forward, able to slip around a check near the Pittsburgh blue line, but now the Penguins move right back the other way. Up the right wing side and toward the front of the net for Raquel. Off the feed from, well, that puck cleared out, and it'll be Mittelstadt coming up the right wing side. Puck floated around behind the net and taken by Karlsson. He'll bring it back toward the near side circle. Lizotte will carry up to the red line and in across the Boston blue. Coming down the right side, slams on the brakes against Aspero, turns, fires, save made, rebound, loose out in front. And that one got in behind and might have caught the post along the near side.
Achari with the second chance.
Letang's pass toward the far side, forced out of the zone by Pasternak. Comes in offside.
Lizotte had all kinds of speed coming down the right wing side. He pushes the D back. He pulls up on that right wing and finds a late man, and that's 2 good opportunities right there for Pittsburgh.
Rod Husnadinov brings the Bruins onto the attack, plays a puck around behind the net. Goes all the way around to that far side. Crossing pass comes to Pasternak now again along the left wing circle. Bring back toward the blue line against Letang, but gets forced out of the zone. And puck is played up ice here by Connor Dewar. Bruins will regain deep in their own zone. Long pass ahead for Fraser Minton. Up to the boards by Solovyov along the near side.
Solovyov read that one pretty well. He's right in his face.
Sidorov with a pass ahead to the attacking blue line. Kicked off the skate of Mikey Asimont. Scratched yesterday, but back in the lineup in place of Alex Steeves today.
Yeah, Alex Steeves tried to make a couple things happen yesterday. Unfortunately, he got victimized on the only goal on that great move there by Chychrun. And Steeves was towards the end of his shift as well.
Asimont in the neutral zone will drop it back here. Lower eyes pass to Geekie. He'll turn up ice from the red line. Hampus Lindholm carries in across the Pittsburgh blue. In behind the net for Corrali. That was taken away. Kindle will work it back toward the near side. His pass batted down by Hampus Lindholm in the neutral zone. His pass out of the reach of Corrali that time, and that'll go for a Boston icing 2.5 minutes into this first period.
Well, 2.5 minutes in, the last time these two teams played, I think we'd already had 3 goals.
No kidding.
Or close to it. I mean, it was up and down action those first 2.5 minutes last time.
Yeah, all the scoring in that game came in the first 6 minutes.
6 minutes, okay.
There was a lot going on. Bruins fell behind inside the first minute, challenged that goal, and
just watching the replay there, Achari did hit the post, or the short side post on the rebound chance.
Lorai will backhand it around the far side of the Bruins zone. Kastelik helped it out. Loose puck comes across the ice in the neutral ice, and Avery Hayes able to get it back into Boston territory. They tried to set up for Kindle for a one-timer coming down the right circle. The puck was in his skates. Out near the blue line, able to hold in is Elmer Soderblam. His Penguins debut picked up from the Red Wings this week. Puck off the skate of Carlson and kept in. Played it back down toward the near corner. Hampus Lindholm and Soderblam near side. Now it'll be Hayes to wrap it around the far side. Wotherspoon gets over to hold it in. Carlson played it back over to that far side. Left circle shot turned away by Korpisalo. And it'll be lifted up and out of the zone. Just about 3.5 minutes into this first period. Banked off the near boards by Wotherspoon. Picked off. Elias Lindholm will send it the other way. Pasternak chasing Letang. Letang turns away from him. His pass broken up at center ice by Aspero, and deep it comes to McAvoy. Backhanded behind the net. Aspero to the near side. Letang able to keep that puck deep here for the Penguins. Near side circle, it comes to Husnudinov. The Bruins will break out. Pasternak to the red line, and will play it into the Pittsburgh zone. Lost a couple of assists yesterday. Been quiet offensively coming out of the break.
He was more involved yesterday.
No
I think right from the first period on. I mean, I asked Marco Sturm about that in our pregame interview, and I didn't mean to slight David at all, because he's done so much for this team, but he was noticeably more involved in that game.
It's for Pasternak. It's 8 straight without a goal, just 1 in his last 11.
By the way, a little rusty here today. Our starting lineup are brought to you by Big Y. Nicely done.
15:45 left here in the first. No score, Bruins and Penguins. Final
back-to-back afternoon game. I'm just
off the face-off. Puck rattled around the near side boards, and it'll come out of the zone. We get used to these back-to-backs.
Yeah,
a few of them still left on the schedule.
Yeah,
that puck scales up and out of play on a dump in by Peak.
I was looking I was looking for Saturday afternoon game. I'm saying, we do Saturday afternoon, bring some people in, have dinner afterwards, whatever we have. After yesterday, there's only 2 Saturday games left at home. And there are Sunday games
on the road
the next day
for both of them.
Yeah.
So, no chance to settle in and have a nice dinner out, right?
But I was and then you made me look at the schedule even harder, and all some of the back-to-backs that are still due. Be another one next week. New Jersey and
Montreal. Both on the road.
St. Paddy's Day for Montreal.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 coming starting next Saturday on the road for the Bruins. Or 3 games in 4 days, all on the road, should say. Puck held in at the Boston blue line. Stepping to his left for the shot was Achari. And a stick save made. Back to the far point. Puck is kept in. Girard walking it across toward the near side. Emil Girard down the right circle. Threw one in front. Achari was there, and so was Lazat. Sticked away.
Hard-working line, this Lazat line with Achari on the right. I mean, it's pretty simple, but use some speed there with Lazat. Some, muscle from Achari.
Dumped in by Asamon. The back of the net. Geeky able to pull it free. Couldn't get it out in front. Will instead get it to Minton in the far right corner. Back to Lorai at the point. He'll rim it back around near side. Geeky let it go to Hampus Lindholm. Now it'll come back deep again. Geeky's got it along the near side circle. Brings it along the wall. Throws it in front. And a chance by Lorai coming down that right circle. Slapping that toward the net.
Took a peek over his shoulder. He saw Lorai darting in from the point. Then he played the puck and just ripped it across there. And it got through.
Outlet pass off the near boards to Anthony Mantha. Ridden behind the net, but got it out in front. And stick back toward that near circle.
A good stick by Korpisalo.
Dewar behind the net. Mantha trying to turn with it. Hampus Lindholm shoves into the boards, but keeps with it. Back to the near side. It'll come now to Carlson, stepping toward the top of the circle. Now backs off to the center of the blue line. Throws one just wide on the stick side, looking for a redirect. Back it comes to the blue line. Ryan Shea to keep it. On the near side boards, Willie Koivunen, recalled this week from Wilkes-Barre-Scranton. Puck is lobbed out of the zone for the Bruins and just has enough to make an icing.
Yeah, backhand lob there by Morgan Geeky, just trying to get that puck out of the zone. Pittsburgh's coming with a lot of energy. When the Bruins played them the other day, they matched Pittsburgh's speed in the first period. I thought Pittsburgh was a bit better in the second and third, but the Bruins got a really good goaltending performance by Jeremy Swayman in that game. But the pace in the first period was outstanding.
Razor Minton gets a warning here as they stand in for the face-off. Off the draw, the Penguins will control it. The Tang back at the point. Sends over to that far side for Shea. His shot never made it to the net. Backed in behind. Hampus Lindholm chops it around toward the near side, but the Penguins will keep it deep. Soderblom and Kindle in the near corner. Soderblom trying to get it back to the point. That was redirected. Asamon takes a heavy hit from Letang, but clears the puck and gets the Bruins a change.
Got it out of the zone. Letang wants to try to keep it in there, but he's going to play the body, and it allows Asamon to get it out.
Soderblom from the left circle, a shot that skims up over the net and out of play, and brings us to our first time out with 12:54 to go here in the first period. No score, Bruins and Penguins on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V. It's your local Honda dealer.
The game is on. The crew's here, and the snack spread from Big Y, oh, it's a thing of beauty. Wings that sauce the competition, platters that get major play, and tossed pizzas for the whole team, and that impressive 30-inch super sub. Shout out to the experts at Big Y for the assist. Are they cheering for the game or for your snacks? My question exactly, sports fans. Big Y, nicely done.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability. Nice. Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Visit your New England Chevy dealers.
Want the lowest price on name brand tires? Town Fair Tire beats all the competition. We beat the wholesale clubs. We beat online prices. We beat all local tire dealers. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Ow! L&F Electrical. Don't get sparked with high prices.
Stay powered through any storm with a generator from L&F Electrical. Reliable, fast, and built to fit your budget. Call 844-LF-WIRES or visit lfelectricalservice.com. Proudly veteran-owned.
Your hot takes on the Sports Hub.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. WBZ-FM at HD Boston, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
First 5 minutes of tonight's game were brought to you by your New England Ford dealers, America's best-selling trucks for 49 years. We've got 12:54 to go here in the first period. Bruins with 2 shots on goal, Penguins with 1 and a post. And we are scoreless through 7 minutes and change. Right off the face-off, Korpisalo had to make a save. Shot by Chinakhov from right between the circles. Bruins get the clear here, and it'll be sent in deep to the Penguin zone. Ustinov able to protect it coming toward the near corner. Now taken away. And it'll be Chinakhov to bring out through neutral ice and dumps in from the red line. All the way around to the far side. Shea directed it back behind the Bruins' net. Ustinov again along the near side boards. Rust able to pull it free. Ustinov regains. Lost it in front. And a penalty coming up.
Yeah, he got tripped up.
And we get a little dust up along the far boards. Aspero goes over.
Raquel shot the puck after the whistle.
The officials quick to get in there and make sure nothing comes of that. Bruins will be going to the power play.
Yeah, Ustinov made a good move and then tried to get out of the, started to move up the ice, and he gets tripped up, and that's where the penalty occurs.
Pittsburgh, number 59, 2-minute minor, tripping.
Igor Chinakhov.
Yeah, and Raquel, it wasn't a hard shot, but it was well after the whistle, and that's what drew the crowd.
That is a no-no.
Well, sometimes it's a penalty.
So this will give the Bruins first power play of the game. 1 out of 6 yesterday. Went 0 for 3 against Pittsburgh in the meeting on Tuesday night. Penguins' second best penalty killing team in the league this year.
And their power play is not bad either.
No, although it has dipped down to number 7 coming into this game. Off the face-off, Pasternak able to get it back to McAvoy. Walks it to the center of the blue line. Gives it to Pasternak on the right. Now a centering passes. Elias Lindholm trying to get it to Zacha in front. Instead, it's Pasta again on that far circle. His pass broken up and cleared by Wazat. Pasternak will play it back toward the near side. Geekie regains entry. Zacha out near the blue line. Played it down the wall. Carlson got a piece of it, but couldn't keep it away from Geekie, and now tied up in the near corner. Trying to dig it free, and they finally do. Elias Lindholm got it between the circles to McAvoy. His shot got blocked and just trickled toward the front of the net. It'll be lifted out of the zone.
Yeah, they got enough of McAvoy to not allow him to get a good shot away in that.
Minute 10 to go on the man advantage. Puck in the neutral zone with McAvoy. Will drop it back. Elias Lindholm will take it. Gives to Zacha on his left. Zacha to the blue line. Finds the lane. Gives over to Pasternak coming into the right circle. Back to McAvoy, center of the blue line. McAvoy coming toward the near side. Gives it back into the middle for Pasternak. Now he comes along the left wing boards. Down the circle. Stops just south of the hash marks. Back to McAvoy for a shot. That tips wide. In the near corner and onto the circle. Both Geekie and Pasternak over here. Geekie will bring it down low. In behind the net. Backhands a pass over to the far side. Back to McAvoy. A one-timer from the high slot. A little off balance, but he got it through. Pasternak now left circle with a shot. And the blocker stop made by Sheila. Far side circle. Back to McAvoy. On to Geekie again along the left circle. 25 to go in the power play. Pasternak got it around to Chari to McAvoy. Back to Pasternak. Stepping inside the dot. And had it stripped. McAvoy will hold it at the blue line. On to Geekie, top of the left circle. Back across, and they score! Zacha with a one-timer from the right circle. The power play goal for the second day in a row for him, and the Bruins have the lead.
Well, Sheilof's made a couple of good saves there, and Shea is irate. He thought he got tugged a little bit trying to get that puck out of the zone. The Bruins are able to keep it in. And a couple of nice passes here leads to this goal. Geekie sells shot. He starts to attack the net from the left wing side after the good keep in by McAvoy. And then he's going to go right across the seam over into the right wing circle. And Pavel Zacha games in 2 straight here on the power play. 1 times this puck past Sheilov.
So for Zacha, his 17th of the season. 6 of them have come on the power play.
It's a better looking power play. First of all, more direct, and it started right away. More decisive, more direct, quicker puck movement.
Yeah, I mean, they used most of the 2 minutes to get that goal, and it was the first power play unit out there for the entire time because the puck was in the offensive zone for almost the entire time. So now the Penguins will try to answer back. Floater toward the Boston line, denied there by Jeannot. Lorai bringing it towards center ice, but lost it over to Girard. So we approach the midway point of this first period. The Bruins have grabbed the lead. Mantha gets it over to that far side. Went back to Mantha, centering pass, broken up there by Kastelik as Koivunen was sniffing around the front. Lorai to Kastelik, fires out of the zone, and that'll be a foot race, and Penguins will get a icing call here against Boston.
I try to come back with this line. We'll see how, and usually it's pretty reliable. Talking about the Corrali line, that time to get the icing. So now the faceoff will be deep inside their zone.
Here with 9:39 to go in this first period, and we'll take a timeout. Bruins have a 1-0 lead here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Whether you're putting together a hockey team or Ford's award-winning lineup of SUVs, a great team starts with the right players, like the iconic Ford Bronco family, with great looks and the 4x4 capability to perform on or off the ice. And the rugged Ford Explorer, with seating for 7 and room for all your gear. Check out the full lineup of award-winning Ford SUVs at your New England Ford dealers today. Proud partner of the Boston Bruins.
TD Bank cardholders score special benefits at TD Garden, from pro shop discounts and free tours to free popcorn and more. These benefits were made for game time. Card eligibility restrictions and terms apply. Learn more at td.com/TD Garden Perks. TD Bank, bank of the Boston Bruins and the Boston Celtics.
We've all seen them. Drivers who are looking at their phones. Is there anything more crazy? It's like they're asking to be in an accident. And why are they even on their phones? To find better car insurance? That's easy. Just pull over and talk with an independent agent about safety insurance. They'll make sure you benefit from great coverage and great value. Ask an independent agent about safety insurance. We'll help you manage life's storms.
Hey, it's Charlie McAvoy, and I'm proud to partner with Service Credit Union because I believe in their mission to support first responders. This season, our 73 Reasons campaign is giving back over $250,000 to protect those who protect us. Join thousands making a difference today at servicecu.org.
Hit 985thesportshub.com.
Morgan Geeky and Charlie McAvoy assisting on Pavel Zacha's power play goal with those feeds. The Shaws and Star Market Foundation donates another $200 to the Greater Boston Food Bank to help fight food insecurity. Learn more about feeding the puck for families at 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck.
Yeah, Elias Lindholm keeping the puck in during that power play was a big one, and Shea wanted a penalty on the Bruins. He came back yelling at the referee, was upset, but give it the Bruins credit once they kept that puck in. A nice play by Lindholm. He doesn't get any point on it, but nice job by him.
For Geeky, that is his 57th point of the year, which ties his career high he set last year. He's already set a new career mark in goal scoring with his 34th earlier this week. And for McAvoy, that's now points in 12 of the last 13. Near side circle of the Bruins zone. Minton sends it up ice. Here is Arvidsson up across the line. Left circle. His shot got blocked into the near corner and pulled in behind the net. Wotherspoon sends it out up the middle. Carried forward here by Carlson. Gave it off to the left side, and the shot turned away by Korpisalo from that left circle.
See, that's a situation there, right? Wotherspoon makes one.
Here's Arvidsson, 2-on-1, back the other way with Middlestad. Got it across, and Middlestad misfired on the one-timer.
Puck blew up on him. I was going to say Wotherspoon made one pass, and it results in a 3-on-2. So, from the Bruins standpoint, the forwards have to make sure that third guy is not getting beat up the ice by the forwards.
McAvoy brings it back toward the red line and dumps it in. Shelovs will stop it at the back of the Penguins' net. And then Wotherspoon stumbled going back there to play it, but got it along to Carlson. The Penguins do get it out of the zone. McAvoy, though, off the far boards to Elias Lindholm. Tried to touch it along, but Carlson took that away. Rust will move up the right side and chip in deep. Raquel bearing down on McAvoy as Charlie sends it toward the near corner. And it'll be pushed out of the zone. Elias Lindholm on to Husnudinov. Husnudinov cutting to the far right wing side. Chips it around Shea. They will chase in along the end wall. Shea wins that back into the corner and floats one ahead. Chinakhov sending through neutral ice. Hampus Lindholm will cut it off inside the Boston zone. Turns it toward the near boards. McAvoy trying to clear it. Be a hand pass here against Pittsburgh.
Fans, hockey season's the perfect time to get a high-efficiency Peerless boiler. Be ready and start saving now. Find the Peerless boiler that's right for your home or business and a list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
7:57 left here in this first period. Bruins have the lone goal so far. Asamont backhanding ahead from the red line. Elov will stop it at the back of the net. Around the far side boards, and it'll them all the way out through neutral. Asamont coming back just ahead of Lizotte. Near side boards. Hampus Lindholm fires ahead. That'll deflect down into the Pittsburgh zone. Gerard going behind the net with Geeky in tow. Asamont got it back out in front, but it came to Lizotte, and the Penguins will move out. Achari up the left wing side. Knocked off his stick by Laura. Race to it behind the Bruins net. Zaka in there. It'll squirt free to the near circle. Geeky first to it there, and he'll volley it out towards center. Asamont trying to keep it moving forward here. That gets turned back toward the Boston line. Zadorov going to bring all the way back toward Korpisalo as the Bruins getting some changes on here with 7 minutes to go in the period. Dump in by Corrales. Goes all the way around to the far side corner. Gano gets it back along the end boards toward Corrales and now into the far corner. But Koivunen is there, and the Penguins will move out. They're going from left to right here in the first period. Off a dump in. Carlson leaves it near circle for Mantha. Tried to get it in front. That one blocked and kicked right back out of the zone. Wotherspoon at the center of the blue line. Off to the near side for Carlson. Kastelik took it away from Mantha. Zadorov over to that far side. Now Jeannot in the neutral ice. Back to Zadorov inside the Boston line. Gives over to Peak. And now he will start up ice. Penguins getting some changes on. Peak skates to the red line and shoots in. Krilov's left it behind the net. Lobbed out of the zone by Letang. Comes bouncing down on the neutral ice. Soderblom coming down the right wing side here for the Penguins. Turns with it along the wall and tried to give it for Letang, but missed him. And it'll ricochet all the way back down towards Sheelovs. Shea starts it up here to Letang. Soderblom brings it back in for Letang coming down the middle. Knocked off his stick, kept alive by Shea, and then he turned over. And the Bruins with numbers going back the other way. Down that right wing side, Arvidsson got it in front looking for Middlestad. Ricochet just wide of the net.
He put it in his skates. He made a good move. Yeah, Shea got his shot blocked right at the offensive blue line, and the Bruins were going back the other way. It was essentially a 3-on-1 for Boston. And, you know, Arvidsson makes a nice move coming down the right wing side, and it's a clear pass over to Middlestad. He just put it in his skates.
5:35 left here in the first. 1-0 Bruins have the lead here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
Feeding the Puck for Families is proudly presented by the Shaw's and Star Market Foundation. With every assist, the Shaw's and Star Market Foundation Nourishing Neighbors Initiative will donate funds to the Greater Boston Food Bank to end hunger here in our local communities. Up to $50,000. Learn more at 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck.
Hey hockey fans, it's Bob Beers. If you're ready to upgrade your outdoor living space, look no further than TimberTech Decking and Railing. TimberTech is the #1 premium composite decking brand, and it's tough enough to handle anything. It looks just like real wood, but without the costly maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot, warp, splinter, or peel, ever. And it's backed by industry-leading warranties, so your deck will last year after year after year. Connect with a local contractor or order free samples at timbertech.com to see the TimberTech difference for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
Now at Wendy's, you can go big, biggie, or biggier. With our new $4, $6, or $8 meal, you choose your deal, as you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More biggie options, more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
Zoe and Beetle, middays on the Sports Hub.
Fans gear up with the latest black and gold apparel at the Pro Shop powered by 47. From hoodies to hats and more, there's something for every Bruins fan. Shop the Hub on Causeway or online at bostonproshop.com. Bruins now 14 goals in the 6 games coming out of the Olympic break. 7 of them from the line of Arvidsson, Zacha, and Middlestat. That doesn't include Zacha's 2 power play goals in the last couple of games either. They nearly had another one right before the break there.
Yeah, Arvidsson would like to have that back. I mean, Shilov's kind of read it. He was moving over anyhow, but once Arvidsson made the first move, they got in too tight to make that pass over on the stick.
Penguins coming forward here. Centering pass gets blocked by Hampus Lindholm behind the net. Raquel chases into the right wing corner for Pittsburgh. Brings it all the way out to the blue line. Backing toward the far side. Got a shot through as the save made by Korpisalo. Lorai will play it out toward the blue line here. Directed ahead by Hampus Lindholm. And now here's Pasternak skating into the Penguins' end. Stops along the half wall near side. Tried to get it through Solovyov. Top of the circle. Rust lost it to Husnudinov. Pasternak over to Elias for his shot. Solovyov blocked that one. A little slow in getting up. Pasternak back to the far circle. And a one-timer by Elias Lindholm turned away by Sheila. Kept alive at the blue line. Pete gives it over to Zadorov. Now Elias with another shot straight on. That one knocked down as well. Zadorov along the near side boards, try to play it down deeper, but picked off by Raquel and funneled back out of the Pittsburgh zone.
That's where you want to play that line right there, inside their own zone. Shilov's had to make 2 real good saves, both of them on Lindholm. Elias, that is.
Asimov with a left wing shot in and out of the glove of Shilov's along the end wall. Asimov tied up with Achari, puck in their skates. So we approach 4 minutes to play here in this first period. The Bruins with a 1-0 lead. Into the neutral zone. Asimov at the red line. Couldn't get it moving forward. Lizotte coming into the Boston zone with a low shot. He's quick. Big save made by Korpisalo. Back to the near point. And the shot by Carlson that goes wide on the short side. Cleared out of the zone by Geekie with a long pass ahead to Minton. Minton turned around against Carlson. Would have been offside. Had to let it go. Now Dewar works his way deep into Bruins territory. Turnaround shot from the left circle. Turned away with the right pass. Geekie in the far side corner trying to find the handle on him. Still loose along that far corner. Geekie able to tap it back toward the end boards. McAvoy got sealed off of it. Aspero there, though, as well. And McAvoy will bring it around toward the near circle. Charlie will send it up the right side. Geekie cutting toward the center ice circle, and he'll lift it in wide of Shilov's. Turn and go for a change. The Tang starts the Penguins out with a pass up the right side for Mantha. Moved it into the middle looking for Koivunen, but the Bruins will regain. Lorai sidesteps Tommy Novak, brings it up through center. Right side pass overshot Zacha, but Zacha keeps in the clearing effort. Here's Middlestat stepping toward the left wing circle. Brings it off along the near wall for Arvidsson. Back to the point and a drive. Straight on by Hampus Lindholm that sailed wide. It'll come back toward him along the near side of the blue line. Kept it in and sends over to the far side. Lorai had to chase it down, but does. Into the corner where it's poked loose by Mantha. The Tang will give it back to him in that far corner. And the puck will come to Shea now at the near side circle. As the puck, that one gets redirected out of play here with 2:16 to go in this first period.
Yeah, the good news, I think, is, Pittsburgh had some good jump there early in this first period. The Bruins seem to have taken over some of that momentum. They've been coming hard at Pittsburgh second half of this period, especially after the goal was scored. But then you have a couple of odd man rushes, including that 3-on.
Won by Soderblom. Penguins get it into the attack zone. Shot wide of the net by Avery Hayes. Kept alive along the far side. Soderblom high slot. Had it bounce over his stick. Bruins will head the other way. The nose pass, though, overshot Corrali. Now in the neutral zone, Corrali will poke it up that far wall. Penguins back in their own zone. Solovyov in the near corner, taken away by Kastelik. But he tried to get it to the front. Girard was there. 1:45 left here in the period. Ilya Solovyov skates it to center ice. Bobbed it down into the Boston zone. Fedorov from behind the net. Around to the far side. Corrali couldn't get it cleared. Pete couldn't get it cleared. Kindle able to drag it free from the far circle. A shot, and Soderblom a chance for the rebound that went wide.
Yeah, 2 chances to clear for the Bruins. Can't get it done. And Kindle just attacks.
Soderblom able to knock it away from Kastelik. Held in again at the line here by Carlson. Kindle all the way out of the blue line. Shot blocked in front by Zadorov. Again, can't get it cleared. If we get down to a minute.
Four times.
1 minute remaining.
Gastelik got it to the blue line. Wotherspoon gets a stick on it to hold the line that time. Now they finally get it out. But only just past the red line. Carlson reloads quickly. On the near side, boards it. Stewart backhanded in front, and a one-timer from between the circles by Achari as the pad stopped by Korpisalo. Bruins try to go long for Pasternak, and that one deflects in on Shilovs, who covers it up.
Yeah, a little loose there for the Bruins, and the coverage-wise, they vacate the front of the net to cover in the corner, and you leave the man in the slot wide open. And it leads to a good scoring chance from the
deep. Turning out of the near corner, pushed up ice to the blue line, with Wotherspoon there to keep in. Carlson, backhander from the top of the far circle that went wide on the short side. Wotherspoon will feed him for a one-timer now, and that one sailed up over the net. 8 to go in the period. Near side circle, a turnaround shot by Dewar is handled by Korpisalo and gets a whistle with 5 seconds to go.
Dewar, Lizotte, and Achari again.
Keeping that pressure on inside the Boston zone. Now we'll see a face-off to Korpisalo's left. 9 saves for him so far here in this first period. Will be taken by Raquel here for Pittsburgh against Zaka. Zaka wins it to Aspero. He'll backhand around behind the net. Arvidsson will lead it along the far boards. And that'll bring us to the end of the first period. So the power play goal.
Peterson School is now hiring for new instructors at all locations.
Hi, I'm Adam Norcott, an electrical instructor at the Peterson School. I've learned so much from my students and their experiences, and it's made me a better teacher, foreman, and electrician.
Visit petersonschool.com.
NHL fans, give yourself some great looks this season and get Boston Bruins tickets at Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Bruins and the NHL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game, so you can catch all the action live all season long. If your plans change, you can sell or transfer your tickets, and mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. With Ticketmaster, you'll ensure that when they shoot, you'll score. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Bruins.
If you're in the market for Michelin tires, get to Town Fair Tire and get them at the guaranteed lowest price. With Michelin's innovative technologies designed for durability and performance, you can trust you're getting the highest quality tires over all the toughest of road conditions. Plus, at Town Fair, you get free services for life. So if you're looking for the best deal on Michelin tires, get to Town Fair, because nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Mass Mutual presents an uncomfortable pregame conversation between goalie UC Saros and center Ryan O'Reilly.
Hey, Juice, what are your financial goals?
No goals.
Like, no goals for retirement?
No goals.
What about a new home?
No goals.
Good talk. See you on the ice.
No goals.
Planning and protection on and off the ice. Go to massmutual.com today.
The sun is out, the birds are chirping, and the open road is calling. Bring on the spring at the Honda Spring Event and take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2025 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value Brand.
Based on 2025 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
Hey, it's Sean Flaherty, managing partner at Catches Law Group. There's something about Bruins hockey, toughness, tradition, and pride that runs deep in New England. That same mindset is how Catches Law Group was built for over 40 years. We've been this region's hometown law firm, fighting for our neighbors and recovering over $3 billion for the people who count on us. We are real trial lawyers who deliver real results. Because when the pressure's on, you need a team built to battle. Visit catcheslaw.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Hockey season is the perfect time to get a high-efficiency peerless spoiler. Be ready and start saving now.
find the Peerless Boiler that's right for your home or business, and a list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Bruins with a 1-0 lead after one here in Pittsburgh. And as part of our first intermission tonight, we take a look back at a busy week around the NHL. Certainly it was busy off the ice with the trade deadline, but on the ice, the Blue Jackets continuing their fight to try to get into the playoffs. Jason Robertson and the Stars remained undefeated in regulation since the Olympic break. And Matthew Schaefer becomes the youngest defenseman in NHL history to reach the 20-goal mark. Here are your NHL plays of the week.
Dylan Larkin, who was the best face-off man in the Olympics, wins the draw, goes after the puck himself in the corner, hands it off to Raymond. Now quick feed over the line, breaking in, here's Larkin, he scores! Dylan Larkin, the hero here tonight in Ottawa. He scores on the breakaway, got the feed, and the final score in overtime, the Red Wings 2 and the Senators 1.
And the Islanders need to get a hold of the puck so they can play a little bit, and there's a potential 2-on-1.
Into the reach of Pajot as a step. Pajot scores! J.G. Pajot delivers in overtime. It's a come-from-behind win, and the New York Islanders take down the Habs 4-3.
Here comes Matvei Michkov. Michkov took a shot. He scores in overtime. Matvei Michkov steps out of the penalty box, goes in alone on Shesterkin, and beats him for his second goal of the game. Matvei Michkov wins it in OT as the Flyers survive the Rangers, beat New York 3-2.
Falk will lift it out. Look out. Holloway has it. Back into the net. He's got it. Hat-trick. Third of the game. If you've got a hat, chuck it in the air. Stretch pass. Holmstrom cuts in. Holmstrom the forehand. He scores! Simon Holmstrom calls game. The Isles win it in overtime in Columbus, 8-0. Thanks to Simon Holmstrom. 4-3 the final yet again. Wyatt Johnston again shoots and missed the net. The rebound, Heiskanen to Robertson. He scores! Jason Robertson wins it. The Stars come back and win it. And the streak is a franchise record-tying 8.
How about the confidence the Sharks coaching staff showing in the young guys out here? Little drop by Eklund. Here comes Miso, streaking up the middle across the line. He stick handles, he tries to split the defense, he shoots, he scores! Michael Misa in overtime, a spectacular rush up the middle, beats Connor Hellebuck, and the Sharks win it, 2-1.
Puck to the far wall, Severson pulls it down, gets it ahead to Marchenko. 2-on-1 with Fantilli. Marchenko holding, shooting, and he scores! And I got 2 words for you. Game over! Kirill Marchenko gets his second of the game, his 22nd of the year, and it's a game winner here at the Garden tonight.
Sandberg gathered that up again onto the far side. Here comes Shifley, shoots and scores! Mark Shifley with another game-winning goal. Jets win! Jets win! Jets win! In overtime tonight. And Mark Shifley with his team-leading 28th of the year gives Winnipeg a 3-2 comeback victory in Game 1 of this 8-game homestand. What a night to begin it for the Winnipeg Jets.
McDavid to Draisaitl to McDavid over to Bouchard. The shot scores! Evan Bouchard hammers it home. Edmonton wins it 5-4 in OT.
Very similar to what happened in Colorado a couple years ago, where they went in there and got the 4-on-3, and they're trying to take the Draisaitl one-timer away. And Bouchard, who is an elite offensive defenseman, and the Oilers didn't have their A game through the first 40 minutes, but they dominated this, and he hammered this one home. Zoop could front the puck, and GWG in OT for Evan Bouchard.
To the right side, and Mitch Marner, 2 points today. Marner to Hurdle, side of the goal, turns and shoots, he scores! Hurdle, overtime, power play goal! What a comeback! Knights 4, Detroit 3 in overtime.
And then losing the puck in the left circle was D'Angelo, stripped by Bennett. On for Kachuk, deep slot. Spins on Horvat, and then had it poked away by Pellet. Sam Bennett's got 2 in this game, the only player with a couple of goals. Islanders take over right point. It's Palat across. Schaefer scores! More history for Matthew Schaefer. His 20th. And the Islanders have their first lead of the night. Rips one in on Bobrovsky for his second of the game. The 4th multi-goal game of Matthew Schaefer's career.
Boy, what a exciting player to watch Matthew Schaefer is in his rookie season. His 20th goal already coming earlier this week. That's our NHL plays of the week. After 1 here in Pittsburgh, Bruins have a 1-0 lead over the Penguins. We will check the other action from around the league coming up next on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
This is Matthew Slater. Contractors across New England rely on Charles D. Sheehy for precision, partnership, and reliability. From the first call to the final install, the CDS team delivers trusted products and dependable service that keeps every project moving forward on time and on point. Learn more at cdsi.com.
It's Jim from Ace Ticket. We all know it's been a tough winter, but soon the white snow will be gone, replaced by Fenway Park's green field. Opening day is around the corner, and the Yankees come to town early this year. So now's your chance to get Yankees tickets starting at just $60. Now is the time to get early season savings or get your seats now for a summer game at Fenway. Ace Ticket always has the best deals on all Red Sox, Boston Celtics, and all your favorites. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS.
1-800-MY-SEATS.
Explore Babson College's graduate programs at their virtual open house on March 18th. Register at babson.edu/grad open house.
Hurry, don't miss the huge savings during our below wholesale pricing sales event, only and exclusively at Imperial Cars. That's right, save thousands on below wholesale prices for our retail customers only, no dealers allowed. Don't miss the unbelievable deals on hundreds of new and certified used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus, take advantage of finance rates as low as 0% for up to 72 months and no money down leases too. Click ImperialCars.com for a great deal on your next vehicle.
Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Want the lowest price on name brand tires? Town Fair Tire beats all the competition. We beat the wholesale clubs. We beat online prices. We beat all local tire dealers. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Felger and Maz, afternoons on the Sports Hub.
Bruins with a 1-0 edge over the Pittsburgh Penguins after 1. Let's take a look at the other action on this Sunday around the NHL. One game already a final, and that was a matchup of some heavyweights out in the West. Colorado Avalanche end up winning it 3-2 over the Minnesota Wild in a shootout. They got goal from Nick Waugh, new acquisition, with about 7.5 minutes to go just to tie that game and get it into overtime where they won it. By the way, Colorado, we talk about the Bruins and their success after 2 periods. Colorado now 34-0-0 when they lead a game through 2 periods as they get another victory here today on home ice. All the other action is later. Big matchup in the Atlantic Division. Buffalo Sabres and the Tampa Bay Lightning come into tonight tied atop the Atlantic Division, though the Lightning do have 2 games in hand, but Buffalo can pull into solo possession of first place with a victory at home as they host Tampa tonight. 6 o'clock start in Dallas with the Stars playing host to the Chicago Blackhawks. 7 o'clock face-off. The Detroit Red Wings are on the road to take on the New Jersey Devils. Interesting to note, Bruins now just 2 points back of Detroit for the first wild card spot in the East. And, oh, by the way, the Bruins also have a game in hand on the Red Wings. And then the late starts out west. The Anaheim Ducks will host the St. Louis Blues starting at 9 o'clock tonight. And at 9:30 out in Vegas, it'll be the Golden Knights taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Through one period here in Pittsburgh, the Bruins have the only goal, and it belongs to Pavel Zacha. 1-0. They have the lead. We will hear from Pavel Zacha when we return and get you started with the second period next on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Sports don't get any tougher than hockey, and trucks don't get any tougher than Ford F-Series, F-150, and Super Duty. The trucks that move mountains also move parade floats and snowmobiles. With that versatility, it's no wonder Ford F-Series is the #1 selling pickup for 49 years straight. Visit your New England Ford dealers today for great offers. A proud partner of your Boston Bruins. Sales claim based on 1977 to 2025 calendar year total sales.
Hi, I'm David Morales, General Manager of WellPoint in Massachusetts. At WellPoint, we're proud to once again partner with 98.5 The Sports Hub for the Hometown Heroes program, shining a light on the individuals who selflessly serve and support our communities across Massachusetts. These everyday heroes deserve to be recognized for the impact they make, both big and small. Help us celebrate them by nominating a hometown hero today at 985thesportshub.com/heroes.
98.5 The Sports Hub and the Bruins Radio Network welcome the following new partners. Your New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado. TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at timbertech.com. Blue Sky Restoration. Tune in to hear this date in history being restored by Blue Sky all season long. And remember, if you have a property disaster, visit goblusky.com. And your Boston area Lexus dealers. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer today. From the home of the Bruins, thank you for joining our winning team. Electrical contractors, Granite City Electric has a convenient way for you to pick up and access your materials 24/7. Introducing the GCE Night Train Depot. Pick up supplies when it's convenient for you. All materials are stored safely indoors and order size doesn't matter. It's not a locker. Best of all, it's free with over 27 Night Train Depot locations across New England. Convenience and savings all delivered to you from Granite City Electric Supply. Proud partner of the Boston Bruins Radio Network.
High five! Up top!
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
The Pats play on the Sports Hub.
Bruins with the 1-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're joined downstairs by Pavel Zacha. Power play goal in that first period. Pav, tell me a little bit about that first power play opportunity. You guys were able to keep that pressure on until you finally broke through.
Yeah, I think it was, we had a couple of good chances there. Good face-off play. I think, being in the zone for that long, you're going to create some. And then Geeks found the great scene for me there. So I think it's, it was a good work ethic, recovering pucks and creating the chances. So I'm happy that, it ended in the net, but I think the whole shift on the power play was good.
When that unit slows down a little bit, that power play unit, as it did coming out of the break, is it just a matter of getting that first one as you did yesterday to kind of break that cycle?
I think, we had to be a little bit better with, staying in the zone a little bit longer, creating those chances and the turnovers. That's what we did really good, before the break, and just, getting the timing back and stuff. It takes a little time after, 3-week break. So I'm happy we're going again.
Second time you played the Penguins this week. What challenges do you face against this team?
I think, they're a good 5-on-5, hard for checking team. Their Ds are supporting the offensive zone a lot. So I think, we have to be good defensively, good through neutral zone, or let them have the 4-on-3s and stuff like that through the break-ins and be good there.
Appreciate the time. Good luck in the second.
No problem. Thanks.
Thanks to Pavel Zacha for joining us. He's brought to you by TD Bank. TD card holders score special benefits at TD Garden, from pro shop discounts and free tours to free popcorn and more. Learn more at the TD Garden website. TD Bank, bank of the Boston Celtics and Bruins, as the Bruins grab that 1-0 lead midway through the first, and that's where we are heading into the second period here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, a few chances or a few opportunities to clear pucks that didn't happen, and it led to good scoring chances here for the Penguins, and especially the latter 5 minutes or so of that period, after it looked like the Bruins had kind of gotten things going offensively. They weren't able to extend the lead on some of the chances that they had. But some breakdowns definitely defensively for the Bruins. I heard Pavel Zacha say, maybe leaving the zone a little too soon and instead of protecting where they need to.
Puck went out of play as the Bruins tried to dump it in here.
It's all right to have one guy fly the zone.
Right.
Because it pulls the D back. They have to respect it. If you get control of the puck, you're sending that puck up the ice. But you can't have three of them up there.
Face it off again here at center ice, as Bruins go from left to right here in this second period. Carlson will play it back into his own zone for Wotherspoon. Back toward Carlson under pressure from Husnudinov. Barely got it over to Azat. Near the red line, Hampus Lindholm flipping it toward Husnudinov, but didn't connect. Off of Lohrei, came toward Pasternak. He can't find the handle on it either, and now it'll come back into the Bruins zone. Hampus will play it across the far side. Husnudinov had it knocked loose at the blue line, but the Penguins were in offside, so that brings another stoppage just 40 seconds in.
Yeah, I think, the Bruins talked about having a strong start on the road. That was one of our sound bites in the pregame show, and they felt like they hadn't been starting well on the road. Well,